Hello ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you guys a very quick tour of my home YouTube studio while I'm off taking a quick break from the live stream here. So without further ado, let's go. So entering the small office here from the living room, we can see this is where the bunnies live. We have one of them who's home right now. And then we have, of course, the studio over here. And as you can see, this is now covered by a small fence here, just to keep the bunnies out of my wires, because they like to chew on wires, and I don't like when they do that. So let's go ahead and let's remove the fence here. Let's head inside. So there we go. We can see right now we have of course the main PC here. Currently, I think it's just finished rendering something. Main monitor is an Asus. It's 1440p, 165 Hz if you do turbo boosted, but this one's just running at 144 right now. Of course, you can see I still have at this point my old camera sitting up here on a tripod just over the screen. And then I have a ring light up here, and you will note that, yes, of course, the camera should be inside the ring light, but after I began using my glasses, I would get a lot of flare, so to avoid that, I decided to move my ring light up here as my main light source to try and reduce the amount of glare that you would get from the light in the glasses. Also note that the camera is not actually centered completely over the screen, which is of course because, as you might have noticed when we went in, that the screens is mounted on Vaser arms, so I really like having that clean. Now it's not that clean right now, full of cables, but normally I like that clean look underneath the screen, and just give me a little bit more room on the desk. But that of course means the camera cannot be directly behind it, which is actually also needed, because as you can probably see here, when we look at the green screen, down here I have just some drawers. If I move further into the small room here, it's just some drawers where I store stuff, and all these boxes up here is basically stuff that's related to YouTube somehow. Well, most of it, not the keyboard, but other than that. That means that I'm a little restricted in my movements in terms of where I can put up this green cloth. So I am actually, when recording, shooting into a corner, which if you know anything about green screening, that is a terrible idea, because it makes it extremely difficult, and also because this is not like the green screen folds a bit. I've always tried to even it out as much as I can when I record. But to try and get the most even recording, I have a few small lamps. These are just some cheap lamps that I really do for an upgrade. So I have one lamp up here that covers this area of the green screen over here, and I have another lamp sitting over here on this shelves. And we'll turn this one on. And this one then covers the far end of the green screen. Now these are really due for an upgrade. First of all, the color temperatures on these lamps are way off compared to if I turn this one off. You notice this looks like kind of yellowish in the light, whereas if I turn this one on, it's going to be pretty bright. It's a lot more white in the light, and it's way overpowering. So I'm a little under light on the too little light on the background. So those are really due for an upgrade. VR headset hanging over here, and the sensors are already pre-mounted. I have one mounted up here behind me, and there should be one hiding just over here next to the shelves, or next to the small folders here. And then I have one up here over the door. Cable is currently stored up there, and then behind the screen here I have a somewhere here it is. I have a spare open USB cable that I can just connect it to whenever I need that. Then of course down here, this is see if I can get the zoom to work. There it is. That small box there, that is one of the boxes from Derek, much like the one that I'm actually giving away today, that I'm using to control live streams, so I can switch scenes and all that stuff. It's all that's being controlled by that small box sitting over there next to my screen. And this is of course the secondary screen where I keep my chats, and I try to monitor the live streams as that's going on. Yeah, then of course I have my Hotas. When it's stored, it's just standing over here on the desk. If we just quickly remove my headset and put that on the screen. So when it's in use, I will just take this over and put that on the mouse pad there, and I can pull out the joystick like that. And I have a pretty decent setup, and there's still enough room on my mouse pad that I can move the mouse around a little bit to use the mouse. And then finally, last piece of equipment here is my blue blue microphone Snowball, which is mounted here on a small arm. And when that's in use, it will be in a position somewhere like this. So this is the setup. And the clever thing about the way this is set up is when I'm sitting, it doesn't, even though it looks like it covers a lot of the screen, it doesn't really when I'm actually using it, because I would probably do like something like that, tilted in that direction, so it just covers the screen for me when I'm sitting. And I can keep it quite close and still keep it out of line of sight from the camera. You can see as soon as we move up here, we can get a pretty clear, right next to the camera here, we could get a pretty good field of view and still hide the microphone down here underneath the screen, so it's not actually in frame, and still keep it fairly close to me. And that's actually pretty much all there is in the office here. Of course, obviously, if it wasn't obvious, the computer is back there running everything. It's my first own build that I built myself, so it's functioning quite well. So functionally, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not the prettiest computer ever, but it works and it gets the job done. But there's one more piece of equipment that is probably one of the most important part in this whole YouTube thing that I'm doing. We're gonna have a look at that now. For the next part, I'm going to get out here in the small hallway. Now, I still have the boxes from the camera here because I'm actually keeping the all the packing peanuts down there to use when I'm going to send the mouses from Logitech that I'm giving away. But what I want to show you here is some of the small closet here. That thing there, second computer, that's my server. That's my home NAS. It's a storage server. This is where I keep all my files. This is a 12 terabyte server running in a RAID 6 array, so I have 2 redundant drives. That means that this thing is my long-term storage. I store everything, all the raw footage, all the finished rendered files, all the components that I use for my thumbnails are all stored separately, all the project files, everything. So if I ever need to go back to a previous video and get part of it or get the raw footage from it, I can do that because it's all stored up there next to my telescope, which is also stored up here in the boxes. Telescope is the main one. We have eyepieces in the small one, and no eyepieces in that one. That one is actually camera equipment. But no, server here to store everything because I do generate quite a bit of data. It's not too bad right now. I think I have around 800 gigs of video material. So again, I think I'm generating somewhere around 400 gigs a year at the moment. So it's not too bad, and it's definitely manageable with 12 terabyte server as this one is. So that was pretty much it. That was the last thing I wanted to show you. I really hope you enjoyed this small trip. Now, I hope I will already by now be back. Otherwise, I'll see you in a little bit.